In this video, we're going to talk about how to change the tempo of a song in Ableton Live. So let's jump right in. First things first, we want to make sure, just like when we were changing the key, we want to start in the song project, not in our template, Sunday template or anything like that, just right here in the song session. So this is actually a pretty simple trick. Let's just get started. So first things first, we're going to open our folder up, and similar to changing the key, we are going to warp all our tracks. You can see mine were already warped. If I just clicked it off and back on, we're going to warp all of our tracks. And what's important to check here is hop in here and pull up an individual file, so drum, bass, drums, percussion, whatever, and make sure that this segment BPM is the BPM, the original BPM of the song. So what do I mean by that? So this song, our song Wonder of the Cross, it's originally in 74. And so we need to make sure that all of these say 74. All of these segment BPMs are 74. So that's the BPM that each individual file is playing at. So the first things we want to do is make sure that that matches the original BPM. Also, we want to make sure we do it for the guide and the click track. So we'll warp our click track, warp our guide track, we'll hit warp. Now what's different about this from what we've normally done, when we're getting songs ready for our Sunday sessions, our Dante templates, we usually will set the click track to leader. That's what lets us move it over, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to unwarp it and leave it as follower. And so once you've warped all these tracks and the segment BPM is correct, you're now free to change the Ableton project BPM any amount you want, and the tracks will follow suit. So let's take a listen to it. So I'm going to play the bridge at the original BPM. Here it is. All right, and so let's change our BPM. I'm just going to click on it and type in 84. That's a pretty big BPM jump. Let's listen to that. So there we go, that's how we do it. We can also go the other way. I could hit 64 and have it 10 BPM slower. Just like that, and you can see it warps the click track, the guide track, and then all of our musical stems as well. So now that we know how to do that, let's talk about how to get it into our Sunday template, our Sunday service session, in a way that it's going to transfer, because as we know, if we don't have something set as the tempo leader, when we move the ALS file over to our Sunday session, it won't copy over that tempo change. So here's a quick fix on how to get something to set as the leader track. So what I would do is I'll come over here to your guide track and just duplicate it. So right click duplicate, or Command D is faster. And we're going to rename this tempo. Okay, so just call that tempo, and then the next thing we're going to do is, you can see if I open this up, it's just the guide track again, right? So, but we don't need two different guide tracks playing, so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to turn it all the way down here, negative infinity, so there's no volume coming from it, and then just to be extra safe, I'm also going to turn it down on the file side, which is right here. You see when I move this, the waveform starts shrinking or growing. This is just another, it's like a gain stage, I guess you could call it. And so I can turn it up or down. So I'm also just going to turn that all the way off, just like that. So now if we solo this and hit play, it's a blank track, right? There's no sound in it. So what we can do now is we can set this track as our leader. So whatever tempo you want to change the song to, so say we want to change it from 74, which is the original, to 79. I'll just come in here and type 79, 79, just like that, and then set as the leader. And we'll see up here our Ableton tempo, the built-in metronome has changed to 79 as well. And so we could change it to 85 like we had earlier. One note, if you do change it after you set it to leader, you see how that didn't change? You just need to set it as follower and then back to leader again, and it'll change as you keep changing it. So we'll just go 79, put that back, leader off and on, boom. So now if I play, we can hear that it's at 79 BPM. And a quick way to check if this is working correctly is to just turn your metronome on, your Ableton metronome, and the click track from the metronome should match the rest of the song. It should all sound. So that lets us make sure that when we're trying to jump around in the song and use our locators, that it's going to play in time. So that's it. That's a quick fix on how to change the tempo of a song.